If you've been following influencer workouts or training advice, especially those targeted towards a female audience, you're probably not getting half as good results as you could. A lot of people start their fitness journeys to get stronger and build a body that they are proud of, and so they follow the people on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube that look how they want to look, and then they copy their workouts, they consume their tips on how to eat, buy the supplements that they promote, and they might see some good results initially, but over time you will likely feel like nothing is changing anymore. And when that happens, most people will either add more into their training routine, which or they're gonna switch up their workouts to something completely different. Have you ever heard someone say, you've got to switch it up to keep the body guessing? Yeah. Well, the truth is that this isn't gonna help. And what you really need to be doing is something I never see these fitspos talking about. So let's talk about it. So if we want to develop our strength and physique, and simply doing the workouts that our favorite fitness influencer is posting and using their smoothie bowl recipes is not enough to be really effective in getting us towards these goals that we want, then what do we need to do? Firstly, you need to think realistically about what you can consistently stick to week on week. It's no good telling yourself that you can do 5 workouts per week if you tend to only actually get yourself to the gym 3 times a week. It might be that maybe your schedule in other responsibilities really don't leave you with enough time right now to go more than 2 or 3 times each week. You might simply be newer to the habit of regularly working out and just find fewer days easier to commit to. Doesn't really matter. You can still get great results from that if you are giving yourself enough training volume over those sessions, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So just remember that you can always increase how many days you work out in future, when things change. The most important thing here is consistently getting in all of your workouts done each week. That's it. Next, we need to think about total volume over the week and what you want to work on. So if you feel like you have really good quads, for example, but your glutes need more work, then you probably want to put a little more emphasis on glute focused exercises in your weekly training schedule over quad. So maybe you do 2 to 3 glute targeting exercises each day you hit lower body, and then just like 1 to 2 quad exercises each time you hit lower body. If you've established that you can only realistically do 2 or 3 workouts a week, you're going to need to add a little more volume to those workouts than you would if you could do 4 or 5 per week. So you can spread the volume out more the more workouts that you do. But remember, consistency is key. So you want to be in the realm of 10 to 15 sets per week per muscle group, ideally. You can go a little higher, but more isn't actually always better, and at a certain point you will see diminishing returns. So don't try to overdo it in the hopes that you're going to get faster results, because unfortunately that's just not how it works here. In my opinion, the absolute biggest game changer for training results that I don't see the popular fit girls talk about is proximity to failure. You have to be pushing yourself to, or at the very least, close to failure every set. Most of the workout posts I come across on Instagram from these kinds of influencers, they're not showing you the grindy reps at the end of the set. They leave those out because they're not aesthetic, which is fine, but it just doesn't accurately portray how you need to be working in the gym to get the kind of results that they get. It's so vital for growth. If you finish your set with ease, then that's a really good suggestion that you had a lot more reps in the tank. You might have a rep range that you're working to, for instance, maybe 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, but if you hit the top number and it's still not that hard, keep going. Keep going until you get to the point where you can't actually get another rep. If you get several more than the top of the rep range that you're working towards, increase the weight for your next set and then try again. That way, with a heavier weight, you should be getting closer to or to failure within that rep range that you are actually going for. So that's how I would work it. But never stop before you've even gotten close to failure, even if you've gotten to the top of your rep range. Those last few painful reps are really where the magic happens. So you've got to train yourself to get used to pushing that hard, or eventually you will stop seeing results. You don't need to change the exercises you're doing or switch to a different workout routine. You just have to keep pushing yourself that hard. It really is vital for growth. An honourable mention that is more commonly talked about but is still worth mentioning because it is always important is exercise technique. Using good technique will decrease risk of injury and help you to make sure that you're actually targeting the correct muscles that we're trying to hit with that particular exercise. I post a lot of technique videos here and on TikTok and on Instagram, so if you do need some help with that, then I definitely recommend you check those out. And the final honourable mention is nutrition. For best results, I highly recommend working out your macros and tracking using something like MyFitnessPal, but it's important to remember to be flexible within your macros. Often when we try to restrict certain foods, we find it much harder to adhere to our nutrition. You know, when someone tells you can't do something, you kind of instantly want to do it. It's kind of this same psychology stuff here. If you tell yourself that you, for instance, can't have any chocolate or you can't have any bread, then you're gonna crave it and eventually your willpower is gonna fail you. So you may as well allow yourself to have those things and not say you can't have them at all, you know? Have the things that you want if they fit into your macros, but have more of an emphasis on nutrient-dense foods overall. That's pretty much it. If you'd like to understand how to calculate your own macros so that you can make sure that you're eating in the best way for your goals, I made a video on this, albeit a long time ago, but it's still relevant, which you can go ahead and check out here. I will link it for you. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.